Daylight peeled away the shelter of darkness. "This cart is a moving trap," Lisa finally said to Julily. The cart jogged faster, throwing them forward and backward with each bump in the road. Now that the day had come, noises surrounded them. Horses' hooves, clattering carts, talking, people. The nearness to danger pressed against the slaves. It was suffocating. So they're still feeling all those probably hopeful, good feelings, but they're in the midst of it, right? They're suffocated by the danger around them. Like the dryness of the hay and the dryness in their throats. Remember, no food and water. "I need a long drink of water," Adam muttered from the far end of the wagon. "You just forget water," Lester hissed crossly. "Hear those dogs barking? The slave catchers have them sniffing along our tracks. If we weren't above the ground, jogging along in this old wagon, they'd be out biting at our heels right now. So why is it safer for them to ride in the wagon than on the ground? Think about that. There's one reason right there. Good job, honey." Julily listened. Far away there were high-pitched animal howls, just as Lester said. Hunting dogs let loose on a man's scent couldn't be stopped any more than a bumblebee swarming over the sweetness of a blooming magnolia tree.
Can you come to the office, please? Hi there, please come to the office.
Julily knew this, so they know there's no way to break a scent for a hunting dog. Like, that's what they're bred to do, right? Suddenly, the cart slowed its speed. It swerved abruptly onto a rougher lane, which they could tell was narrow because tree branches scraped against the wagon's sides. The wheels splashed through the shallow water, and then the wagon stopped. There was need for speed because the little driver jumped from his seat and ripped the canvas from the cart. "You must all come out and lay in the hay at once," he said, "and hide just inside the barn here." His voice was urgent. Julily stood up, brushing the hay from her hair and face. The freshness of the air and the brilliance of the sun were sudden joys she could not conceal. "Lisa, oh look!" she cried. A swift-moving stream sparkled beneath them. An old barn snuggled nearby in a tangle of vines and gnarled tree limbs. It seemed to be waiting for them with an open door. "My old body just won't untangle." Lisa sat twisted in the hay. Julily bent down and lifted her friend from the wagon. It was no effort at all. She could carry Lisa. Lester wouldn't have to worry about anybody slowing them down again. Top of page 86. "I seem to be growing as strong as a horse," Julily laughed. What did she just compare herself to?
A horse.
"I'm shrunk up as a poorly dried cricket." Lisa scowled. What did Lisa compare herself to?
Cricket.
They joined Lester and Adam beside the stream, and the four of them drank greedily. The little Quaker paced nervously beside them. "You must come inside the barn." His voice remained gentle but firm. "I must be on my way soon. If we are tracked down there, there's no way I can protect you." They followed him inside the barn. It was sweet-smelling and dry. Someone had covered the floor.
Can you come to the office, please? Please come to the office. Thank you.
Someone had covered the floor with new mown hay. They had made it ready for them. There was a bundle of food near the door. The little driver drew all of them close to him beside an open window. He placed a round glass object on the flat windowsill. A black needle quivered inside it. What is it?
A needle in a haystack.
It's a round
It's a
glass object.
compass.
Compass. Good inferencing. He showed them how the needle always pointed north. The same as what?
The North Star.
"I am leaving this compass with you," he explained, and he clipped it slightly with his knife, a little east of north. "You must not go straight north. It is too dangerous. Follow the needle east until you come to Cumberland Mountains, near the city of Knoxville. In the mountains there are caves for shelter and paths to guide you." The fugitives listened carefully. Julily repeated the strange names over and over in her mind. The little man pushed his wide-brimmed hat back from the shadows of his face. For the first time, Julily noticed his bushy gray eyebrows and deep-set, kindly eyes. Why wouldn't they want to go directly north? Like, that's where they want.
It'd be easy for the gods to track them.
Be obvious, right? They know where they want to go, so go a little east. You can backtrack later. He talked about mountain ranges they would cross and cities they would come to. He believed they were going to get to Canada. All four of them needed this faith in their venture. They drew closer to him, more hopeful than they had been since leaving Massa Ross. The kindly man looked into the faces of each of them as they stood quiet and expectant around him. "I just wish I could take you right to the border of Canada." There was unexpected fervor in his voice. "Slavery is a horrible evil. So like an unexpected fervor means like it's almost like a passionate anger. Like he wants to be able to do more than he can, right? Like he just wants to be able to fix it and make it right. Slavery is a horrible evil. So think about that. He compares slavery to horrible evil, and it's true. He pulled a round, sturdy watch from his pocket, then checked the position of the sun in the sky. He became nervous again and spoke quickly. "The mountains will take you into Kentucky, to the city of Lexington," he said. "Here you can follow the railroad tracks by night. They lead straight north to the city of Cincinnati in Ohio, to the home of Levi Coffin. Don't forget his name. He is the president of the Underground Railway." So, what is the Underground Railway? Is there really a railway that runs underground?
No.
Kenton?
No.
No. So, Levi Coffin, is he really a president?
No.
Okay, so think about that, okay? The Underground Railway? Julie was puzzled. Had these abolitionists built a road under the ground that led all the way to Canada? She would have to remember to ask Levi Coffin about this. "God bless each of you," the little Quaker called as he ran to his wagon. The 4 slaves watched him leave. He had given them hope and a safe place to stay. His cart of hay bumped up and down on the small, deserted road. How many of you think they're probably sorry to see him go? Mm-hmm. The 4 of them felt almost, now this is a word that we don't use often anymore.
Wait, go back.
First new paragraph on page 88. The 4 of them felt almost gay. What is the true meaning of the word gay? Happy, and it's been turned into a slang word. But the 4 of them felt almost gay, that happiness, that excited feeling we talked about. As Lester opened the bundle of food, bread, cheese, and dried venison lay before them. Venison is a type of meat, my sweetheart. A ray of sun from the broken window spread over it with golden warmth. Lester gave each of them a portion and tied the remainder inside the bundle again. They walked about the barn, swinging their arms and legs. For one day and one night, this barn was their home. It had walls and a roof, and a blessed flow of fresh water ran before their door. A gift, straight from the Lord, Lisa declared. "No hound dog is going to sniff our scent over this rushing water," Adam laughed. Adam found an old pail. He turned it over and began beating a small rhythm with a stick. Julie caught the swing of a song in it and began to dance. Lisa didn't smile, but she clapped her hands, swaying back and forth with the rhythm. Lester, sitting in a corner, was thoughtful, but not displeased. "Before the sun sets, we should catch some fish," Adam said, laying down his pail and walking to the door. Lester joined him. "We'll go across the stream where the trees are thick," he said. "Nobody can see us there." "It would be safer if you didn't cross the stream," Julie called out to them, but they didn't hear. They were already splashing through the water. Julie watched the gold sheet of sun stretch across the barn wall. The fresh hay felt soft against her feet. She thought of washing her clothes in the flowing stream and laying them in the sheet of sun to dry. "If you got to wear rags," Julie could hear Mammy Sally's voice singing these words back at Massa Henson's place, "keep them clean." So she's saying, you know what? This is what we got to deal with. We may as well take care of it, right? Who had that saying? One of you guys had a saying. It was one of you guys said it to me. Something about... No, it was Caden. Mom said, no, that was Caden's. One of you said, it was your mom. What was it, Lucas? Say it again.
Be thankful for what you have and what you don't have.
Beautiful. Be thankful for what you have and what you don't have. I love that.
It was quiet.
Okay. There was quiet, thank you, sweetie, when the man left. Julie and Lisa pushed the hay into the corner. "We've got a bed," they laughed together. They found a board and propped it on some logs to make a table. They put the bundle of food carefully beneath it. "We've got us a house fit for a fine missy," they sang the words together. The rushing stream swallowed the man noises of the road. Only the clear song of a mockingbird could be heard above its rippling. Even the wind, playing through the leaves, was quiet. There was no crackle of branches to tell where Lester and Adam had gone. It didn't seem real when the yelping noise of hound dogs entered the safety of the sun-drenched barn, shooting through the air like an arrow. Julie cried out against it. She and Lisa grabbed the bundle of food and the compass from the window ledge. Got a picture here so it shows a visual. So we got hound dogs, numerous hound dogs, men on horseback with guns, and them fleeing, running.
Wait, what was the video?
They crawled into the far corner of the barn and began scratching at the hay to pull it around them. How many of you noticed a different visualization, something different than you had in your head? The yelping came at the edge of the stream. There were scuffs and pounding of horses' hoofs. The mockingbirds flew away, leaving the sky for a moment empty of its song. But the emptiness filled with the cries and shouts of men and of whips, crackling into the playful leaves. Lily sobbed. Lisa's sore back tightened. A cloud erased the sheet of sun. The hound dogs splashed into the water. They mixed lapping water with nervous yelping. Their swinging noses sniffed the scent of Adam and Lester, and they bounded, screeching up the river into the grove of trees. They crashed through the bushes. The horses stamped behind them, and men shouted from their saddles, their whips ripping the air. Low cries of pain and terror rose up the stream, and Lily and Lisa stood helpless in the doorway of the barn, wringing their hands. What does it mean to wring your hand? Show me. Like this. Like you're like when you're nervous. Like get a visual of that. Mm-hmm. The cries were from Lester and Adam. The dog sounds were now growls and snapping. They've been caught, Lisa moaned, rocking crazily back and forth.
Where are we?
Very bottom of page 92, last paragraph. Lily felt dark, as if night had fallen and closed around them and they were trapped with no escape. The dogs began to whine. They had found their prey. But the shouting men's sounds didn't stop, nor did the moaning, pleading slave sounds.
Wait. Luke's here?
Hey, Luke, come on in, hon. And winding through them all, blinding them horribly together with the clanking sound of chains. Lily wept. Tall, proud Lester in chains again. Kind, simple Adam groaning beneath a cracking whip. Grab the food and the compass, Lily, and get your bundle. Lisa's voice was harsh and rasping. The sounds are getting closer. They is coming to this barn. Lily jumped up and gathered their meager supplies. Together, they watched the quivering arrow on the compass point to the east. They knocked the table apart, kicked the straw about the floor, and then ran up the stream in the opposite direction to kill their scent. They left it finally to enter a grove of trees across the main road. They headed east into the denser underground, then stopped. There's no more pretending on this trip, Lisa. Lily hunched beneath a shrub. Her face was grim. What's grim?
Mad. Sad.
Sad, mad, like hopeless, kind of all together.
Just like
The line of her mouth was rigid. Like, think of that. Picture it, guys. That's a visual. That's a show, not tell. Okay, think of that rigid line. You've all been there. Could be fear. Could be so many emotions mixed together. It'll take a load of hard work, plain luck, and lots of praying to get us both to Canada. Lisa faced the north. Her fist tightened. Lester's that determined for freedom. He'll break those chains and drag Adam right along behind him. They huddled together, listening to the disappearing yelps of the hound dogs.